Hey Flosstube, Vanna here. I'm going to cover 3 subjects today. The first one being the tool time tag, and then I'm going to do kind of an overview of what I've stitched, and I didn't get very much done unfortunately last month. And then the third thing is going to be a review of a company I found while I was in Japan that I don't think a lot of people have seen in the US, and I think that's kind of a shame. So the first thing is the tool time tag, and I'm going to start with my, of course, there it goes, Millennium frame. It's large enough for me to put my large project on, and it's also really nice to keep my tension and just really easy to work off of. The second tool I use is the needle minders. And I know there are people who love them, people who hate them. I like them because I can just stick my scissors, stick my needle on, and be good to stitch for however long I want to stitch until I want to put my needle and my scissors away. The third thing I really love is this little box from Japan. This thing holds my scissors, my needle goes into the top of it, and this way I don't lose it when I'm on the go and I am taking it with me. I just put my needle right up here in the pin cushion, and I can just close it up and be ready to just take it with me on the road, which is really nice to have. Fourth thing I really like are these cards. And I know people, once again, have a lot of different opinions on them. I love them. When I first started stitching, this is kind of what I used, and I found it really works for me because I can put my symbol, what type of thread it is, the number, and then I can just cut up whatever I need and put it on the sides here. Now the fifth one is my nails. And yeah, I know they're kind of gross right now because I've let them grow too long, but I use these to pick out stray threads. If I've got to rip out any sort of thread from any of the projects, I can just do it really quickly. I don't really have to mess with my thread ripper, seam ripper, or anything like that. I just pull up and I'm able to pull my stitches out pretty easily with them. So that's it for that. Now for my projects, I only got 3 days worth of stitching and less than 5 hours to work this entire month. However, I did get to finish the 5th page of Moonlight Serenade from the Heaven and Earth Designs, which is my big main project, the one that I work on when I have the time and I can just sit down and enjoy myself for a little bit. So I finally got that one done to the 5th page. I got a grid for the 6th page, and then I'm going to start the 6th page. Hopefully this month I'll have more time to stitch. Oh. The next project was the Sand Dollar Pin Keep, and I finished the stitching, but I messed up. So this is what it looks like when it's all stitched up, but I did something bad. I did not give myself enough room between these two stitching. If I was to cut this out and try and work with it now, I would have so little room to work with while finishing it. And yeah, I can do it, but it'd be cutting it really close, and I hate doing that to myself because I'm always so paranoid about that. I hate it when customers give me projects and I only got like 3 little strands and nothing else. And I've got to just do so much extra work, and I'm always worried about them fraying. I've got to just work so much harder on those, and I don't want to do that to myself, so I've got to rip out those stitches and redo that one. The other project I kind of highlighted the last time was my Sashiko octopus for my husband, and I got that one all done. And I absolutely adore it. It looks so wonderful. I know this isn't real Sashiko fabric, but it is really pretty fabric. My husband really likes it. I've been working on that for him, and he loves the way this one looks. I've got to get more blocks for the quilt that I'm going to make this into, but the store is like 3 hours away, and I don't want to drive that far right now. So those will have to wait for a different time. That was it for kind of what I've been working on. What I plan to work on in the future, other than the Shall We Stitch needle keep, which we're going to work on the next time the Embroiderers Guild of America meets for next month. We're going to start stitching that one up and things like that. So that's it for those. What I'm going to next work on for kind of a big project is the Mirabilia, this one here, and this is the Stargazer, and she is absolutely beautiful. I've seen several other Flosstubers, I don't remember who, I'm so sorry, but I've seen other Flosstubers work on her, and I love her so much. She's so beautiful. I love the dress, and I love stars and all that, so I'm really looking forward to starting that one whenever I get the time. That's probably not going to be within within 4 months. Jobs, right? So the last thing I wanted to do was cover a little company called Olympus that I found while I was in Japan. I will show you the first project I ever did. It's this beauty right here. This is the Golden Temple in Japan. I found them while I was living in Misawa, Japan. And I fell in love with this kit, and I just had to do it. This was my very first cross-stitch kit. This is a little bit ambitious. Nowadays I would pick different Aida, but the Aida is fairly soft. It was large enough that I could see what I was doing, and I wasn't going to miscount all the time and things like that. And I really enjoyed it. I love the threads. I could not really find DMC threads in the range of colors that you can here in the US. Unfortunately, their big one was Cosmo, I think it's Cosmos, I think is what it's called, and then the Olympus threads. They also do Sashiko kits and things like that. You can kind of find some of those here stateside, but I have not been able to find the cross-stitch kits. I did 2 of them by them. The threads are very comparable to DMC, and it's a really good thing if you're, in Japan or someplace like that and you can't find DMC and you're looking for another brand to use and they have Olympus. They're probably a really good choice to go with. The other one I was working on while I'm just going to be dropping things today. While I was in Japan, while I was in the hospital there, was this. And I started this while I was in the hospital. I got so many, some of the nurses would come extra times just to kind of check out what I was doing because they hadn't seen anybody else really do this sort of stuff. And I was in Yokosuka during that period of time, and I loved it there. But it was springtime, so these were the colors I was seeing outside, and I was able to kind of work with them inside as well. And that was really, really special for me. I would recommend that if you can find them, go for the kits. If you like Japanese themes and things like that, I know they had some for Paris, they had some for Holland, and they had some for, oh, what was that? I think they had some from England as well. Some different scenes and things like that, same famous buildings, things like that. And they were really, really cool. I regret not picking up more. Obviously, I do them on different ADA, but they are really nice kits. I don't have anything else to talk about, so I'm going to sign off. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your needles, people.